Cyclone Jude is rapidly intensifying as it closes in on Mozambique today. Currently a Category 1 with winds of 85 miles per hour and a pressure of 975 millibars, gusting to 115 miles per hour. The storm is moving west at 10 miles per hour. Over the next few hours, the storm will continue to intensify and make landfall likely in around 9 hours as a Category 2 is what we're expecting. The officials a little bit lower. They're expecting 90 miles an hour at landfall. It will continue to move inland and likely hold tropical storm status and do a recurve to the south on Tuesday-ish and move back over the Mozambique Channel where it could possibly reattain cyclone status. Quite a bit different from the models a few days ago where they were calling the storm to be a borderline Category 5 at landfall in Madagascar. Here are the warnings, cyclone warnings in effect from Nacala to Ngozi. Tropical storm warnings in effect for three different locations. The far northern one is from roughly halfway between Nacala and Pemba down to Nacala. The second from Ngozi to Moma, and the third from near Quelimane to around Chinde. A small area under a cyclone watch near Ngozi, I will add. Three different locations under tropical storm watches. The first just south of Pemba, the second between Moma and Quelimane, and the last around Chinde to around halfway to Beira. Wind threat is not as significant as the rain threat, but strong winds are still likely with hurricane force winds to move quite far inland, mostly due to the storm speed. And tropical storm force winds basically just going to circle around the storm's track. A small area there that will escape tropical storm force winds, but rainfall there will still be significant. The storm surge, moderately significant, but not extremely destructive like Cheeto or anything. But the storm isn't very strong, so that's part of the reason why. But it's still maximums around 5 to 6 feet near the landfall, with smaller surge of around 1 to 3 feet along the coast. Rainfall is the biggest threat currently. Maximums near the landfall site around 18 inches, 450 millimeters. Significant rainfall even extending inland. You can see a large area of red to the northwest there with maximums around 15 inches. Even over a large part of the storm track, rainfall will likely reach around 6 to 10 inches, 150 to 250 millimeters. Only two small areas there in yellow will escape major rainfall, with maximums around 3 to 3.5 inches there, which is still fairly significant. The rainfall, especially near the landfall site, is likely to cause significant flash flooding and potentially mudslides. Here are the different agencies. Meteo France currently quite far behind at 60 miles per hour. We're getting at 85 due to the satellite. You can see it there in the top left corner. GFS slightly behind at 75 miles per hour, and JTWC currently at 65 miles per hour. GFS currently forecasting strengthening up to landfall, expecting a landfall of 110 miles per hour and a pressure of 966 millibars, which is reasonable. They've missed the mark on some other storms. Also showing that same recurve to the south and strengthening over the Mozambique Channel, reaching 985 millibars, borderline Category 1, and making landfall in southern Madagascar late on the 14th. Comes over water, but wait, it decides to go back over Madagascar on the 16th. Moves west, then east, then south. Slight strengthening phase there up to 999 millibars before it moves south and turns extratropical. Quite wild track. If that happened, this would be the storm's track. You can also see Tropical Storm Yvonne there to the east. That isn't a threat currently. It's supposed to peak only around 65 miles per hour. Here's a look at the infrared imagery. Dramatic difference now from 12 hours ago. The eye is really becoming a lot more pronounced as it gets a little bit deeper. Very high cloud tops on the northern and western eye wall, around minus 90 degrees. The southern and eastern eye wall looking a little bit bare with cloud tops aside from that small area around minus 80 in the southern eye wall, but otherwise cloud tops only around minus 70 degrees. One thing I am seeing toward the end, a slight fracture in the northern eye wall, but that appears to get pushed out. One interesting thing to note is that at the end of these frames, the clouds in the inner band start to dissipate, so maybe some dry air is getting through, and if that makes it to the eye before landfall, it will probably hamper its intensification, which is a good thing. But I wouldn't count on that because the storm is moving quite quickly and will probably have made landfall by the time that dry air gets to the eye. Currently, it looks like it is about to enter the eye wall, the dry air, if that's what it is. We will keep you posted as this storm continues to intensify and if that wild track in the GFS forecast comes true.